Verlon Thompson. Let me tell you a few things about Verlon. He is a storyteller. He is a poet. Well, kind of a poet. You know, as a solo performer, he has traveled the world singing with people such as particularly Guy Clark. He's been everywhere from Barcelona, which is not in this country, to Binger, which is in Oklahoma. He has performed and had his compositions have been recorded by such performers as Jimmy Buffett, Alan Jackson, Anne Murray, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Kenny Rogers, Randy Travis, Del McCoury, on and on and on and on and on. Because he writes just tremendous songs that other people pick up on. Who whistled? We do not whistle here. This is a folk concert. Okay?
It's not me. Who was it? Murray? Oh.
Please do not do that again.
The guy with the ugly thing.
He has been enlisted more than 2 decades ago by the Dean of Texas Songwriting as his touring partner, and that was Guy Clark, of course, and he has been touring ever since. Let me introduce to you the wonderful Verlon Thompson.
And then they're doing the round.
Well, thank you. I know that I'm new meat here at the Festivus. I know a lot of you don't know anything about me, so I think I'll do a song for you that is my life in song. It's sort of like Ellen's, only mine's called "Is It Hot in Here or Is It You?" Brett, you can take my guitar down a little, and there's a whole lot of echo happening. There we go. Well, I went to Nashville 30 years ago from Oklahoma. I walked away from rock and roll to get my honky-tonk diploma. I was hungry, young and hungry, and I was looking for an offer. And Miss Loretta Lynn, she took me in, that sweet coal miner's daughter. But she never did do one of my songs. But one day she did say, "Now darling," she said, "you should hang around with guys like Holyfield and Harlan." Now before I go any further, let me explain to you who I mean when I say Holyfield and Harlan. A lot of people think I'm talking about the boxer Evander Holyfield, and that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about a guy who's a wonderful songwriter, kind of took me under his wing, a guy by the name of Waylon Holyfield. Waylon wrote a lot of beautiful songs. You probably know a lot more of them than you're aware of. One in particular would be "Could I have this dance for the rest of my life?" Remember that? "Would you be my..." Okay, yeah. See there? That's Waylon Holyfield. Waylon wrote that. And just to show his versatility, the next week he wrote "Rednecks, White Socks, and Blue Ribbon Beer." So you can see he covers all the bases. Now when I say Harlan, I'm talking about the one and only Harlan Howard. And Harlan wrote everything else, just about. So you can see why Loretta Lynn, she sat me down and said, "Honey, you should hang around with guys like Holyfield and Harlan." She said they go to lunch and they'll smoke cigars and they'll drink a glass of brandy. She said they write big hits and they leave big tips and spend their evenings with their families. Yeah, but I'm glad she didn't tell me just how far I had to go in this show we call the business, in this business we call the show. So I played at the Hickory Holler Mall, and I played Union Station, and I learned to do my little Johnny Cash impersonation. And then one night he walked out of the back. It was him and Miss June Carter, and he said, "Son, I have heard better, but not one who tries harder." So I put that in my bio, and I told everyone I know. I said, "Man, I'm in this show we call the business. It's a business we call show." Well, it was Waylon that introduced me to Mr. Jimmy Gilmer of the Fireballs. And together they convinced me that I could do it all. Yeah, but later it would come to pass I could not play that part, because I would not kiss nobody's to get my records on the charts. She's still waiting. Oh, she listens by the radio. I say, "Mama, it's just a show we call the business. It's just a business we call show." So here's to all my music brothers, my music sisters too. Here at home and on the road, this one goes out to you. And when the print gets fine on the bottom line, don't you give away your soul to this show we call the business, to this business we call show. It's just a show we call the business, y'all. It's just a business we call show. Excuse me, my guitar is it's all right, don't worry about it. So now you, okay, so you got the picture, you know, like the song says, 30 years ago I went to Nashville and I started writing songs, and everything in that song is true. Loretta Lynn did take me in. She did set me down and tell me who I ought to hang out with. Johnny Cash did walk up to me in a little club one night and told me, I've heard better, but I ain't heard nobody try any harder. And I actually, that night, when I was packing my stuff up, I wrote those words on a napkin and I stuck it in my wallet and carried it around for years, just waiting, trying to figure out a way to wedge those words into a song, because I wanted that to be in a song one day, and I finally did. And so now I'll sing you a song about what I do today, which is what all these other wonderful musicians have been doing tonight and every other night. We just travel around the country and we play for just about anybody that'll sit down and listen to us. And one night I wanted to make a list of some of these places, because you find such wonderful places and you meet wonderful people, but some of these places, like the, what is this, the Outback Shack?
Shack in the back.
Shack out back, yeah, see? Huh?
Shack in the back.
Shack in the back, oh, yeah. Shack out back was a different deal. That's... Yeah, I saw a couple of those over there. But that's what I'm talking about. Every night you think you've seen it all, and then you show up at another little place like this, and you go, wow, they're everywhere, which is a true blessing for musicians, because we're nothing without you guys. So this is a list of, don't ask me why, but it's a list of 43 places I've played. From Port David's in Dallas to the Gallatin Palace, the Cactus Cafe, the Palms and the Birch, the Bluebird, the Gray Eagle, the Tin Angel, Iron Horse, and of course the grand old Mother Church. The Station Inn, Exit Inn, Fruit again, Michigan, Flat Rock and Round Rock and Little Rock Jacks, Dublin to Tullamore, the Down Home and the Troubadour. Long as they want us, we'll keep coming back. You see, we ain't been everywhere, but we're trying to get there. If you let us tune up, we'll throw down a set. Book us a room, we'll be in your town soon, 'cause we ain't been everywhere yet. There's the Ark and the Handlebar, Wolf Trap and the Apple Farm, Pootie's Hill Country and St. Augustine. At the foot of Denali and down on the Swanee, and that night I can't talk about in New Orleans. On Live Freedom Radio, the Birmingham, Zydeco, Reno and Conroe and somewhere in France. A bunkhouse in Brenham and the barns of Vienna and the riding arena at the real South Fork Ranch. Hey, we ain't been everywhere, but we're trying to get there. If you let us tune up, we'll throw down a set. Book us a room, we'll be in your town soon, 'cause we ain't been everywhere yet. The old Floribama, Songwriter-rama, the Merle and the Strawberry Festivals all. The Liberty Lunch and the Fireman's Kitchen. And tonight at the Shack in the back here with y'all. You see, we ain't been everywhere, but we're trying to get there. If you let us tune up, we'll throw down a set. Book us a room, we'll be in your town soon, 'cause we ain't been everywhere, no, but we're sure trying to get there. You see, we ain't been everywhere. Yet. 43, now it'll be 44. The Shack in the back will have to be. If I could, I'd like to take you back to the true beginnings of my my career. It wasn't when I went to Nashville. It started long before that. It really started back in Oklahoma, in Caddo County, near a little town called Anadarko. There was an Indian stomp dance one night, and it was a ladies' night, if you can believe that. They have a ladies' night just like we have at the beer joints, you know. But it was all ladies' dances, and these dances are open to the public. And on this particular night, there was one old farm boy who pulled off out in the shadows there, climbed up on the fender of his old Ford, and he started watching the ladies dance around the fire. And he caught the attention of one of the dancers, and every time she came around on this side of the fire, their eyes would meet through the smoke and the sparks of the fire. Now he was born a farmer, and she was born a queen. And she was a charmer, and he was just a little bit green. And with nothing in common and nothing to do, they came together from out of the blue. Now sweet dreams, they do come true. So he brought her presents, and she felt his desire. And she found him pleasant, so she set him on fire. They were looking for someone that they could call true, both waiting for something that was way overdue. Now sweet dreams, they do come true. So he left the country, and she left her throne. They were feeling so young and alive. Now he made the money while she made the home, and in no time a little baby arrived. My father's still that farmer, my mother, she's still that queen. She's still a charmer, and he's still just a little bit green. And it's nothing uncommon, and it ain't nothing new, how they came together. It could happen to you. 'Cause sweet dreams, they do. Yes, sweet dreams, they still do. Sweet dreams, yes, they do come true. Thank you. In case you didn't guess, that's about my mom and dad. And I knew this was going to happen. I'm such a damn talker. I knew I'd talk half my set away, and it turns out I have, actually. I just got the sign that I've got time for 2 more songs, and what have I done too? That's okay though. I hope you get the picture of who I am, what I do, and hopefully I can come back sometime. We can spend about 3 hours doing that. So I did have a couple of requests, and I'm going to try to do, let's see, which one should I do? I don't know. Yeah, I got to do that one, don't I? This is a song that I wrote with my buddy Guy Clark.
What I'll do is I'll put it up.
And it's something that I think a lot of us here tonight have in common. All the musicians, the guys and the girls been playing up here tonight, and I know a lot of y'all play too. I heard a bunch of you at the open mic, and I think all of our fantasy is that we would just be able to wake up one day and just play like the Dickens. Wouldn't that be something if that would happen? Well, I was passing by a pawn shop over in the older part of town when something caught my eye, and I stopped and turned around, and I went inside, and there I spied in the middle of it all a beat-up old guitar just hanging on the wall. "What do you want for that piece of junk?" I asked the old man. He just smiled, and he took it down, and he put it in my hand, and he said, "You tell me what it's worth, son. You're the one that wants it." He said, "Tune it up and play a song, and let's just see what haunts it." So I hit a couple of chords in my old country way of strumming, and then my fingers turned to lightning. Man, I never saw it coming. It was like I always knew it, but I don't know where I learned it. It was a dream come true, so I just reared back and burned it. I lost all track of time. There was nothing I couldn't pick. Up and down that neck, man, I never missed a lick. It was like that guitar played itself, and there was nothing I could do. It was getting hard to tell just who was playing who. And when I finally finished, I was almost out of breath, and my hands were shaking, and my shirt was soaking wet. And that old man jumped up and grinned, and he said, "Where in the hell you been?" He said, "I've been waiting all these years for you to stumble in." And he grabbed an old beat-up case, and he said, "Go on, pack it up." He said, "You don't owe me nothing." But when he said good luck, there was something spooky in his voice, and a strange look on his face. And when I closed the lid, I saw my name. My name was on the case. I cannot leave a room without playing a song about a horse. You got to have at least one horse song during the night, and this is mine. Now Joe Walker's mare was a mighty good ride. She was no bag of bones, she was no hunk of hide. He gave her to me the day that he died. Joe Walker's mare was a mighty good ride. When Joe Walker found her, she was lonesome and lame. Her tail in a tangle, birds in her mane, in the Arbuckle Mountains in a cold pouring rain. When Joe Walker found her, she was lonesome and lame, y'all. Joe Walker rode her for 20-some years. He viewed most of the country between her two ears. He found him a good one, and he never switched gears. Joe Walker rode her for 20-some years. She never reared up, she never broke loose. She'd carry a queen or a Choctaw papoose. Bareback and bridle, no saddle, no use. She never reared up, no, she never broke loose. She pulled the wagon that hauled him away in the box that he'd built for his own burying day. She even dropped her head for the preacher to pray. And then I unhitched the wagon and they hauled him away. And I never rode her. It just didn't seem right. Oh, I brushed her and I combed her most every night. And I thought about it, but dream as I might, I would not ride her. It just didn't seem right. So, in the Arbuckle Mountains, somewhere running free as the son of that mare Joe Walker gave me, I turned him loose the day that she died. Joe Walker's mare was a mighty good ride. She was no bag of bones, no hunk of hide. Joe Walker's mare was a mighty good ride, y'all. Thank y'all.